This is one of my favorite shots that I captured back in my DJI Phantom 3 standard days. Hello and welcome to Condoning Drones. In this episode I will try to recapture similar footage, so stay tuned to learn how to film your drone from above. Hint, you will need two drones. I will use the DJI Mavic Air 2 and the DJI Air 3. So you can easily get footage like this. As the Mavic Air 2 hovered and recorded, I flew the Air 3 into the Air 2's line of sight, so to speak. And likewise, here's the Mavic Air 2 filmed by the Air 3. But these are not the shots that we are wanting to get. So here's the problem. I need to control two moving drones at the same time. However, it is just me and I will need some assistance. And the DJI Air 3 has a feature that I need to take advantage of. As I plot my Waypoints flight, let me remind you that the DJI Fly app only supports waypoint missions on the Air 3 and not on the Mavic Air 2. I get the Air 3 in position and add the first waypoint. I then edit the global speed to a low speed so that I can make it easier for the Mavic Air 2 to follow from above. I also change the end of flight from return to home to hover. This is not a tutorial on creating waypoint missions. I have other videos that will help you if you are new to waypoints. I'll put a link in the description. So I create a simple waypoints flight for the Air 3 with 6 waypoints with a global speed of 2.1 miles per hour. Notice on the map that all of the waypoints are at the same height, 121 feet. That is important. Position the Mavic Air 2 carefully above the Air 3. In this scenario, make sure that the Mavic Air 2 is 15 to 20 feet higher for clearance. I uploaded the Waypoints mission to the Air 3 and flew the Mavic Air 2 several feet above the Air 3. When I could see the Air 3 with the Mavic Air 2 camera, I began the Waypoints flight for the Air 3. I noticed a problem right away. The Air 3 had a global speed of 2.1 miles per hour, and the Mavic Air 2 was obviously traveling at a much higher speed. Since I could not fly the Mavic Air 2 at a constant speed, it kept catching up with the Air 3 and I had to readjust. Although I did get an interesting shot, I knew I had to rethink my strategy. One Waypoints mission was not enough. Not only would the Air 3 fly a waypoint mission, but the Mavic Air 2 would have to as well. But remember, the DJI Fly app did not have waypoints capabilities for the Mavic Air 2. However, the Mavic Air 2 could fly a waypoints mission using the LITCHI app. Back in 2017, when I flew my two DJI Phantom 3 drones, I used LITCHI to create almost identical waypoint missions. After planning the Waypoints mission for the lower drone being filmed, I would save that mission by two different titles. The first one I left as planned, but the second one I would change the altitude settings of all the waypoints to a higher number. At the LITCHI Mission Hub, I designed a simple waypoints mission that I hope to duplicate with the DJI Fly app. In the LITCHI settings, notice that cruising speed is 9.4 miles per hour, and the finish action is none, which is the same as hover in the DJI Fly app. All of the waypoints altitude are set at 120 feet. The DJI Fly app Waypoints mission must have 9 waypoints, an altitude greater than 120 feet, and must also have a global speed of 9.4 miles per hour. In the DJI Fly app, I have 9 waypoints. Note that the altitude is almost 135 feet, greater than the LITCHI's 120 feet. The first waypoint's heading is custom set, but the remaining 8 waypoints all have headings set to manual so that you can keep the Mavic Air 2 in view as you record from above with the Air 3. And global speed is set to 9.4 mile per hour, just like in the LITCHI settings. I also chose hover for end of flight, like LITCHI's finish action of none. Here's the Mavic Air 2 flying the LITCHI Waypoints Mission. Remember that the Air 2 is below the Air 3. I launched the Air 3 Waypoints mission right after launching the Mavic Air 2 mission. Let me pause and point out that on this mission I forgot to set the waypoint number 1 heading to custom. It was set on manual. You'll see shortly why I should have changed it. As the Air 3 flies to its first waypoint, note that upon arriving it rotates its heading to the north instead of the south toward the mission path. So when the Air 3 began moving on the mission, I had to rotate the heading back to follow the course. Because of the delay resulting from the error in heading, I could not spot the Mavic Air 2 with the Air 3. With both drones hovering in place, I initiated the waypoint missions again, but I still could not capture the Mavic Air 2 on film. The next day I tried again. The Air 3 and Mavic Air 2 were in position ready to start their waypoint missions. The Air 3 even had the Mavic Air 2 in its sights. And as you can see, I hadn't realized about my heading fallacy yet. I'll spare you from watching any further since the Air 3 did not record any more of the Mavic Air 2 on this mission. Later, after correcting the heading issue on the Air 3, I flew the 2 drones out to try again. This was my most successful attempt yet, but it was far from what I would accomplish the next day. Ever since I was using both the LITCHI and the DJI Fly apps to create these waypoint missions, in the back of my mind, something bugged me concerning telemetry. Controlling the Mavic Air 2 with the LITCHI app and the Air 3 with the DJI Fly app, I launched both drones one at a time from my deck so that they both took off on the same platform. Ideally, they should both be at the same level if I set each of their altitudes at the same height. Since I could screen record the Air 3 with the RC2, I lowered it to 22 feet on the DJI Fly app. I would do the same with the Mavic Air 2 and the LITCHI app. Both apps showed altitude at 22 feet, but the Mavic Air 2, controlled by LITCHI, obviously was above the Air 3. Back in 2017, I created waypoints for my two Phantom 3 drones using just LITCHI. Let me demonstrate. Once you plot your waypoints mission using the LITCHI Mission Hub online, you can save that mission and then save again using a different title. So in this instance, we changed 000-Air 2 to 000-Other Drone. Both missions are identical in all but name. To make Other Drone fly the same mission as the Mavic Air 2, we just need to change the altitude from 120 feet to 135 feet. Let's say you have a DJI Mini 4 Pro and a DJI Air 3, both with the RC2. If you save a Waypoints mission on one RC2, will it also be saved on the other RC2? I do not know, but I do know that once a Waypoints mission is saved on the LITCHI Mission Hub site, the LITCHI app connects to the hub and makes that mission available on the remote controller. Although I will try two LITCHI missions, pause this to read about the DJI Fly app. So for my next attempt, I will fly the Mavic Air 2, and the other drone is the Mavic 2 Pro. Note that both waypoint missions are in the list. Opening settings in the Mavic 2 Pro LITCHI mission, notice that the heading mode is manual or user controlled, and the finish action is set to none. It will hover at the end of flight. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and perhaps you learned a thing or two. If you would like to see the 4K version of the Mavic 2 Pro's capture, please let me know. This is Dan for Condoning Drones.